Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Elsa Putri. My number student 2003050004. My class in English Language Education Q1. Here I will explain the material International Journal Business and Entrepreneurship Special Edition and Entrepreneurship are worldwide. Published by MEDC, UITM, Malaysian Entrepreneurship Development Center, University Technology Mara. Sponsored by University Technology Mara, Malaysia, University has Kansas, US. Guys, editor, Professor Dr. Dr. Ichiro Shibora, Graduate School of Conference Waseda, University Tokyo, Japan. Preference, Professor Dr. Ichiro Shibora, Goods Editor, Special Issue 1, Internationalship around the world. It gives me the immense pleasure to place this special issue of the Journal of International Business and Entrepreneurship into the hand of our excellent readers. I am grateful the leadership of the GBE for providing me this energetic opportunity of acting as editor for this special issue devoted to international shift around the world. Include the possible for me to carry it out only with the help of the colleagues, associates, and friends from the different part of the world. Most of the book, article, and the research student in the area of entrepreneurship around the world are confident to the scholarly analysis of the entrepreneurial process of the trade and the characteristics successful entrepreneurs good on business plan, research, capital, financial projection, venture capital, legal and tax matters. The search story of Silicon Valley in the United States revealing how universities, environmental, organic, venture capitalists, and the author and entrepreneurs have joined hands together to create an unique habitat and the end of the globe, the earth, and environment, fostering the development of new features, the industrial, the business culture, and the compliant growth. Abstract. The closing years of the 2020 control have been made by an independent information of global integration for national economies, the professionalization of the management in the CME store was appreciated as the critical factor in achieving this target shift. Considerable range of factors we independent as beginning the victories and the roadblocks to the recognition of CMC as the respondent to new challenges. The feeding outly in this paper that to include the shift by with the domestic growth, regional statewide becoming more significant in the recent years. Introduction. In about 2 decades, Singapore has immigrated as one of the most competitive economies in the world. SIM is derived by the Economic Development Board of Singapore to include components with local equality of the large fan productive extending $15 million and not having more the average sector is spread to be the character of jobs. Compilation of new ideas of the 20 as control stating Singapore economy to recover from the reset economy dominated in the regions. Traditionally, CMC in the Singapore have been family control without much professional experience in the strategic formulation to regulation. There has been extreme dependence on one or two key individuals for information and conflict management. See issue of CME in the Singapore CMC have been traditionally controlled and managed by family members. The decision making was based on the domestic consideration of control of resources and strategies really help culturally determine the capital of CMC. Were mainly research professional shaping and law from friends and relatives. CME sector in Singapore is never thoroughly in innovate in the broad global surge industrial research is total dependent on our critique at the grade of vulnerability that did not encourage CMC to look forward the new challenge on time. Identification, modern information generating system available from the developing alternative brings product markets generation. The original framework, the four major factors that have been intervened to affect the business growth of CMC in Singapore are internal factors. Learning process and regionalizations, a conceptual framework is drawn in figure 1 to explain the relationship between these factors. CMC are highly dependent on the internal environment. Thus, the internal environment is very important to the growth of CMC. It is especially important to the small business, which often faced with the Russian continent had to the turn to Spanish special institution. Continual learning and adaptation enables CMC to fall until the internal and the internal factor coincident in comparative expense slope of the growth. Complaint with global competition means that there is a need to improve comparative advantage. Comparative advantage is great to interfactor. A nation competence depend of the capacity of the interaction enough and upgrades. The reset methodology. The target population is reset to the winners answer. Listening for the 2 years in which the constant had been running. ADB while the pots the wins into the promised local interpretation program for growing infrastructure. Amnesty participation will allow decision fairly on what topic learning from the factor proposed in the paper to problem of the following present experience by companies with the regulation and the step the head were taking in this regulation crisis. An exclusionary consent of the item versus to one dependent variable, business growth, and 4 independent variable. analysis of fitting its sets of pilot interview. Singapore is still claimed to be the critical bit from companies even took Thai or moving their manufacturing over because of the rising costs of doing business. There is general emphasis in CMC on how research the plans. The cultural skill independent to be niche or CMC or focus visible and the innovation with with the theory entrepreneurship where the of strategic planning is niche. Regionalization is generally a grant be the natural thing for these components because of the high profile contamination in the neighbor markets. Supporting development and B the government supporting demand to be influenced and the smart cash unnecessary to company is the Singapore. Summary on questionnaire surface. A foundation one sort of positive relationship give evidence the internal factor and the made to have positive effect on the business growth MCMC. Hypothesis 1 for the takes is the significant relationship between international factor and business growth because the constellation is greater than. The recommendation for CMC is to make full of the skill development one of Harvard, the government, the target, the technical cooperation of the workforce. Again, emphasis through prop no significant relationship between company characteristic to learning of business growth with the correlated that hepatitis, but for so a story and the significant relationship between legalization and business growth. Conclusion. Although strategic management idea or comments among legal entrepreneurship many similarly CMC have surprised by adopting passive or relative upfront in the past only the SME manager operates with global organization the professional management programs that rapidly respond might be counterproductive. However, some CMC store the lacks professional training and limited base research will serve limited at taking the expanded experience. The research indicates that regulation funds have the most significant relationship to the business growth of local internet in Singapore. The other hypothesis and internal relation of companies characteristic to learning and the add proof that significant interrelationship to business growth. Further, students will need to be understand far as the beginning of this study in order from CMC to the regulation the next interesting definition. He developed of and skill of intercultural sensitiveness to the insert strong element in winnings, collaborative, and effort in the regulations. Demikianlah presentasi yang dapat saya sampaikan, terlebih dan terkurang saya mohon maaf. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you. Thank